What's going on? Well, I'm going to show you how to rig a Texas rig. It's one of the most commonly used fishing techniques that there is. But if you're a beginner, or if you're someone who just doesn't know about a Texas rig, you've been throwing rooster tails your whole life, I'm going to show you how to rig a Texas rig. It's great this time of year in a creek. A lot of people are on, Ned rig, creek fishing. But if you have some bigger fish in that creek and you really want to get a bigger bite, man, I suggest a Texas rig. Just dragging it across the bottom. It's fantastic. Catch a lot of fish that way. So I'm going to show you how to rig it. Probably going to show you how to rig a few more things at the same time I'm doing this, but I'll just make this little video about how to rig a Texas rig. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, I've got this all. I'm going to go ahead and clip that off there. Handy dandy. Yes, my desk is kind of messy. So, what you are going to do is I'm probably gonna rig up one of these. I've got right here, it's just a cheapo bullet weight. I'll use the cheapo ones in the creek. Creek fish, a lot easier to get a bite. Sometimes they're a little bit more spooky, but most time a lot easier to get bite. So this is actually a 1/4 ounce. If you need it to be, sinking a little bit better, a little bit deeper, but I use 1/4 ounce most of the time. Sometimes I'll go down to an 1/8, sometimes up to a 1/2. And I've got some size 3/0 Gamakatsu, just hooks here, just a worm hook, and I can get them out of the package. I'll put those back in. Anyway, super simple. So you're going to take your bullet weight, you're going to slide it on your line with the pointy tip going forward, pointy tip going up your line. Then whatever knot you like to tie, I do a Palomar or Palomar, whatever you want to call it, but I do a Palomar knot. And so you go through, you go back through, so now you have both of these on this side and you got a loop here. And this is super simple. I probably should have gave myself more slack, so I am going to give myself more slack. Alright, there we go. Remember, so through, back through, and then you make you a circle. Make a circle. So I'm taking this and I normally just put a finger in there to catch it. Then I take my loop and I go through the circle, so it looks like that, and then you pull your hook through that loop on the end. And then I normally wet it with a little bit of saliva so that your line doesn't pinch up as bad, and then you pull it tight. Normally I won't have this much excess line, but I'm showing you guys. And there you have that. Then you find your knot there, and after you get it tight, you just clip her off, and that knot ain't going nowhere. So then you're going to take whatever you're going to be using, I'm just using, I'm going to be putting on a pumpkin fire. That's probably what I'm going to start off with, going to the creek. I love pumpkin seed, and now sometimes they'll tend to just go for the tail, but so you see the eyeballs. The eyeballs, you want to start off with those facing away from the hook. Eyeballs away from the hook. Then you're going to go in. I mean, you try to make sure it's as centered as you can. You're going to go in till your nose or the worm goes just right to about the middle of that U. And then you put your hook through, and you're going to go up to the top. When you get to the top, you can go ahead and run it up. Hoping I'm getting all of this, but you're going to go ahead and run it up till it's past that little notch on the top. When it does, it'll look like that when it comes out the other side. So now your eyeballs are on the front of the hook, because you spin it right there at the end. Then you're going to want to push your body in to the hook. Push your body in, and then you take and go right through, and it sits on there nice and neat like. If you want it weedless, you just make it weedless by barely putting it into the top of the skin. And that was not great, but I went too barely. And then that right there would be weedless. Me in the creek, I really don't care. But that right there. So now your Texas rig should look like this. So now when that drops down, it'll pull this, and then you can just kind of drag it and drop it, drag it, drop it. Or when it gets on the bottom, you can literally work it and it'll just kind of like you can drag it across the bottom. This thing is, the Texas rig is the most versatile fishing. I mean, it works in 70% of the year, and it's great. I mean, if you ever look at pros, they're probably going to be throwing something like this. I mean, probably not the Zoom pumpkin fire, but they'll probably be throwing a Texas rig at some point in the day. It's just the most versatile thing. It's great. This right here, it'll catch largies, it'll catch smallies, but that's how you rig a Texas rig. Thank you for watching, and subscribe.